English for the Stars. Your Guide to Space Talk. Introduction. Have you looked up at the night sky, full of bright, tiny lights, and felt a big sense of wonder? That feeling, that pull to know what's out there, is something many people share. It's the same feeling that makes scientists want to explore and people like you and me want to dream. What if you could talk about the newest amazing news from space? What if you could understand what those beautiful pictures from telescopes really mean? What if you could share your excitement with others? This book is here to help you do just that. Learning about space is like opening a door to a new world. And like any new place, it has its own special words. This is where our space words come in. Think of them as your special tools, filled with the words and phrases you need to talk about planets, stars, rockets, and all the amazing things happening far away from our Earth. It's not just about knowing names like Mars or Jupiter. It's about understanding what makes them special, how we explore them, and what we are learning. When you know these words, you can stop just listening to space news and start joining the talk. You'll understand space shows better, enjoy reading about space more, and feel a real connection when you share your love for space with others who also look up at the stars and feel that same amazing wonder. Together, we will go on an exciting trip. We will start by meeting our neighbors in our solar system. These are the rocky planets near the Sun, and the giant gas planets with their spinning storms and many moons. Then we will travel much, much farther. We will explore where stars are born and where big groups of stars, called galaxies, float in the dark. We will learn the words for beautiful clouds of gas and dust where stars are made, for mysterious black holes that pull everything in, and even for planets around other suns, which we call exoplanets. But space is not just far away, it is also about us reaching out. We will look at the amazing machines that make space travel possible. We'll see the strong rockets that lift us up, the smart robots exploring other worlds, and the brave people called astronauts who live and work in space. We will also talk about the exciting discoveries that keep changing what we know about the universe and the wonderful things that might happen in the future. This book is made to make learning easy and fun. We will show you the words you need, explain them in a simple way, and show you how to use them when you talk about space and read exciting stories. Our simple goal is to give you the confidence and the words to feel like you are truly part of the space conversation. We want you to feel ready to learn, to share, and to explore the universe with words. So, are you ready to start exploring a universe of words? Let's begin this amazing adventure together. 1. Learning space English. Going into space is an adventure. To enjoy it, we need the right tools. Think of English as your spaceship. The words we use for space are its important parts. Learning space English is like getting all the tools and maps you need for a great trip. It's not just knowing big words. It's about opening doors to understand space and talking with others who love it too. Imagine watching a show about a far-off galaxy. The person talking mentions nebulae and supernova. If you know these words, you can see the clouds of gas and dust or a star exploding. You can feel amazed. But if these words are just sounds, the magic is gone. You might nod, but you're not really there with them. This is where space English words become your superpower. These are the special words and phrases we use for stars, for exploring space, and for talking about everything we find, from planets near us, like Mars and Jupiter, to far-off stars and amazing things like black holes. When we learn these special words, we go from just listening to being part of it. Instead of just hearing about a new exoplanet that's a planet far from our sun, you can understand why it's cool. You can get ideas like the habitable zone, the right distance from a star where water can be liquid, making life possible. These words help you follow space news with confidence, understand what scientists write, and even share your thoughts with friends, family, or other space fans. They are the key to deeper talks and enjoying space more. So, what kind of words are we talking about? There are many. We have words for the big things. Planets like Earth, Venus, Saturn with its rings, and big gas planets like Neptune. Then there are stars, from our sun to distant, bright ones and small, dense white ones. We talk about big groups of stars, like our Milky Way, and even bigger groups called clusters. We also learn words for space travel. Astronauts who go into space, rockets that send them up, satellites that go around Earth, and the idea of orbit itself. We also find strange things in space, like the strong pull of black holes, the colorful clouds of nebulae where stars are born, and bursts of energy. And, of course, there are words for finding things, new worlds, new kinds of stars, and new clues about how space started and will end. Learning these space English words might seem like a lot at first, but you don't have to learn it all at once. Think of it like building your own small spaceship, piece by piece. A good way to start is by learning words as you see or hear them. When you read about a Mars rover, notice the words used to talk about its trip. If you hear a new word on a space show, stop and look it up. Don't just remember what it means. Try to understand how it's used. For example, if you read about a lunar mission, you know it's about the moon. If you hear about a geostationary satellite, you can guess it stays in one place above Earth. Another good way is to put words into groups. You could make a list of words about planets, another about spacecraft, and another about stars. This helps your brain sort things. So, under planets, you might have Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune. Under spacecraft, you could list rocket, shuttle, probe, satellite, rover. This way, when you think about planets, many related words come to mind. And the most important part? Use the words. Don't be afraid to try them. You can start by writing simple sentences. Mars is a red planet. The rocket will launch soon. I saw a pretty nebula in the picture. Even talking to yourself counts. The more you use these new words, the more natural they feel. The goal is not to speak perfectly right away. It's to feel sure enough to share your interest and what you know. Every new word you learn is a step closer to joining the talk about space with people all over the world. It's easy to feel a bit lost when you see lists of difficult words. Many new learners worry about making mistakes or not understanding everything. This is normal. Think about learning to ride a bike. You might wobble, maybe fall a bit, but you keep trying. It's the same for learning space English. The hardest part is just starting and feeling like there's too much to know. Remember the main idea. Learning these words helps you join in and enjoy talking about space. It's about connecting and sharing excitement, not about passing a hard test. So, how does knowing these special words help you go from just watching to actively joining in? It's like having a secret code for space fans. When you understand words like light year, how far light travels in 1 year, a very long way, or cosmic microwave background radiation, a faint sound from the beginning of space, you can follow hard talks. You can ask smart questions. You can understand the excitement when scientists say they found signs of water on another planet. You can share what you learned from reading or watching. You become part of the talk, not just someone watching from the outside. Understanding the small differences and how space English words are used is more than just knowing their meaning. For example, the word star can mean our sun, another sun like Alpha Centauri, or a star in a science paper that might be a new type we haven't seen. Knowing how the word is used helps you understand its exact meaning. When we talk about a mission, it could be a trip to the moon, a trip to Mars, or a trip to study the sun. The word mission is simple, but knowing what kind of mission needs the other words. This deeper understanding makes talks better and your knowledge bigger. This trip into space English is about giving you power. It's about giving you the voice to share your wonder about space. It's about making space wonders easier to reach and more personal. Every word you learn is a new window that opens to space, letting you see more, understand more, and share more. Now that we know why learning space English is important and have some ways to start, let's look at that. Amazing things in space themselves. We will start with the words that describe the planets in our own solar system, the first steps on our space journey. 2. Planet and star words. Look up at the night sky. What do you see? Small dots of light, right? Those are stars. And sometimes, if you look very carefully, you might see a planet. Learning the English words for these amazing things is like getting a special key to open up conversations about space. It's not just about knowing names, it's about understanding what they are and how they work. This is where space English words really start to be useful, giving you the power to share your wonder about the universe. Let's start with planets. What exactly is a planet? Think of it as a big, round thing that travels in a path or an orbit around a star. Our home Earth is a planet. There are 8 main planets in our solar system that we talk about a lot. We have the small, rocky planets closest to our Sun: Mercury, Venus, Earth, and Mars. Then, further out, we find the giant planets made mostly of gas and ice: Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune. When we talk about these planets, we use special words. Some planets are called rocky because they have a hard ground, like Earth and Mars. Others are known as gas giants because they are huge and made mostly of gases, like Jupiter and Saturn. We can also describe their atmosphere, which is like a blanket of gases around the planet. Earth's atmosphere lets us breathe, but Mars has a very thin one and Venus has a very thick, hot one. Sometimes, we talk about a planet's surface, which is the ground we see. Think about the moon's surface. It's covered in craters, which are like deep bowls made by rocks hitting it long ago. And Saturn is famous for its beautiful rings, which are made of ice and rock. Learning these words helps us describe planets more clearly. Instead of just saying Mars is red, we can say, Mars is a rocky planet with a thin atmosphere and its surface looks red because of iron in the soil. See how much more information that gives you. It's like painting a clear picture with words. Now let's move to stars. A star is a giant ball of hot gas that makes its own light and heat. Our very own sun is a star. It's so important to us, giving us warmth and light every day. But our sun is just one star among billions and billions of others in the universe. We can describe stars by their size. Some are called dwarf stars, which are smaller than our sun, and some are giant stars, which are much, much bigger. Imagine something so huge it could swallow up our sun. Sometimes, when stars are born or when they are dying, they create beautiful, glowing clouds of gas and dust called nebulae. These look like colorful smudges in space, and they are where new stars can form. And when we look up at the night sky, we can often see groups of stars that seem to form patterns. These are called constellations. People long ago gave them names like the Big Dipper or Orion the Hunter based on the shapes they imagined. Thinking about the history of how we name things in space can be really interesting. Take Neptune, for example. When astronomers discovered this distant, blue planet in 1846, they wanted a name that fit its look and its place in the solar system. They chose Neptune, which was the name of the Roman god of the sea. This makes sense because the planet looks like a deep blue ocean, and it's far away, like the vast sea. This shows how sometimes the names of planets and stars connect to stories, myths, or the actual things we see. It's not just a random word. It often has a meaning or a reason behind it. This is a perfect example of how space English words aren't just about remembering words, but understanding the stories and science behind them. So, how does knowing these English terms for planets and stars help you become an active part of a space conversation? Imagine you're watching a show about space. The person speaking might say, "This probe is studying the atmosphere of Jupiter." If you know what atmosphere means, you understand that they are talking about the layer of gases around the giant planet Jupiter. You can then follow along, maybe even think about questions like, is Jupiter's atmosphere like Earth's? Or can we breathe on Jupiter? You're not just hearing words, you're understanding ideas. When someone asks you, "What's your favorite planet?" you can say more than Mars. You could say, "I really like Mars because it's a rocky planet and scientists think it might have had water in the past. I find its red surface and its craters interesting." This is a much better and more engaging way to share your interest. You're using space English words to share your thoughts and feelings about a space object. You're not just listening, you're sharing. Let's think about the most important words for beginners. For planets, you absolutely need to know. Planet, a large object that goes around a star. Orbit, the path a planet takes around a star. Rocky, describes planets with a solid surface. Gas giant, describes very large planets made mostly of gas. Atmosphere, the layer of gases around a planet. Surface, the top layer of a planet. Craters, holes on a planet's surface made by things hitting it. Rings, circles of ice and rock around some planets. And for stars, the essential words are star, a hot ball of gas that makes its own light and heat. Sun, our own star. Dwarf star, a smaller star. Giant star, a much larger star. Nebula, a cloud of gas and dust in space where stars can form. Constellation, a group of stars that form a pattern in the sky. Why are these words so important? Because they are the basic pieces. When you hear about a new discovery, like scientists found a new exoplanet orbiting a dwarf star, you can understand the basic idea. An exoplanet is a planet that orbits a star outside of our own solar system. So, the sentence means they found a new planet going around a star that is smaller than our Sun. This is a great example of how space English words help us understand new and exciting information. Let's try putting some of these together into simple sentences, just like we planned. Jupiter is a gas giant with many moons. This tells us Jupiter is big and gassy, and it has smaller things, moons, going around it. The surface of Venus is very hot. This tells us about the top layer of Venus and its temperature. Saturn is known for its beautiful rings. This highlights a famous feature of Saturn. Our Sun is a medium-sized star. This compares our Sun to other stars. The Orion constellation is visible in the winter sky. This tells us about a specific star pattern and when we can see it. These simple sentences might seem basic, but they are the foundation. They show that you can not only understand individual words, but also put them together to create meaningful statements. This is the heart of mastering space English words, being able to describe and understand the universe around us with clarity and confidence. The journey into space talk is exciting, and starting with planets and stars is like learning the first letters of the alphabet of the cosmos. These are the basic pieces we see and talk about most often. Once you feel comfortable with these words, you'll be ready to explore even bigger ideas, like how planets and stars are organized into vast groups. That's what we'll look at next. 3. Talking about discoveries. The universe is always full of surprises. Every day, people who study space find new and wonderful things. Learning to talk about these finds in English is like getting a special ticket to the biggest show ever. It means you can understand what's happening, share your excitement, and feel like you're part of the space conversation. Imagine this. When a new planet is found, or we see a beautiful picture from a very far-off star, the news spreads quickly. To really get it, and to talk about it with others, you need the right words. This is where our space words come in. They're the special words we use to talk about all the amazing things we are learning. What new things are we finding? Space is very big, and there are many different kinds of discoveries. Let's look at some common types of things we find and the English words we use for them. First, there are space objects. These are the things we see in space. We have always known about planets like Earth and Mars, but now we are finding many, many more. We talk about exoplanets. These are planets outside our own solar system. They go around stars very, very far away. It's exciting because finding exoplanets means there could be other places like Earth out there. We also find dwarf planets. These are like smaller planets such as Pluto. Our own solar system has many moons. We are finding new ones going around other planets too. Some are big, some are small, and some are covered in ice or have volcanoes. Then there are stars. We know our sun is a star. We are finding new kinds of stars, and we see places where new stars are being born. These are called star nurseries. They are like giant clouds of gas and dust where stars begin to shine. Galaxies are huge groups of stars, gas, and dust. We live in the Milky Way galaxy. We are finding new galaxies all the time. Some look very different from ours, and some are even crashing into each other. Nebulae are beautiful clouds of gas and dust in space. They can be places where stars are born, or they can be what's left after stars have died. We are learning more about black holes. These are very heavy objects with gravity so strong that nothing, not even light, can get away. We can't see black holes directly, but we can see how they affect things around them. Asteroids are rocky things that go around the Sun, mostly between Mars and Jupiter. Comets are icy things that also go around the Sun. They often have long, glowing tails when they get close to the Sun. We find new ones of these too, and sometimes they come close to Earth. Besides finding objects, we are also discovering amazing events. These are things that happen in space. Gravitational waves are like waves in space itself. They are caused by big events, like black holes crashing into each other. It's like dropping a stone in a pond, but the pond is space. A supernova is a huge explosion of a star. It's one of the most powerful things in the universe. Cosmic rays are fast-moving bits of energy that travel through space. We see beautiful lights in the sky called aurorae. They are caused by tiny particles from the sun hitting Earth's air. Some planets have beautiful rings around them, like Saturn. We are finding rings around other planets too. Finding out that planets have atmospheres, layers of gases around them is important. It tells us more about whether life could exist there. Magnetic fields are invisible forces around planets. They can protect them from harmful energy. And how do we know all this? We find proof and information. Scientists look for signals from space, like radio waves or light. We get amazing pictures from powerful telescopes. Spectra are like light fingerprints. They tell us what stars and galaxies are made of. Sometimes, we even bring back pieces of rocks or dust from other planets or asteroids. All the information we gather is called data. An example. Finding exoplanets. Let's think about a time in history. For a long time, people wondered if there were other planets going around other stars. We knew about the planets in our own solar system, but the idea of planets elsewhere was like a story. Then, scientists started finding new ways to look for them. They used powerful telescopes to watch stars very, very closely. One of the first big ways they found exoplanets was by noticing how a star would get a little dimmer when a planet passed in front of it. It was like a tiny shadow. They also looked for small movements in a star's path caused by a planet's pull. When scientists first said they had found planets around other stars, it was a huge moment. They had to create new words or give old words new meanings. Exoplanet became a common word. They started to describe these planets. Were they big or small? Were they close to their star or far away? Was their star like our sun? This discovery didn't just add more objects to our list. It changed how we thought about the universe. It made us think that planets might be very common. This led to even bigger questions. If there are so many planets, could some of them have life? This is a question that drives much of our space exploration today. How do we make these discoveries happen? Discoveries don't just appear. They happen because of hard work, smart thinking, and amazing tools. We use telescopes. There are telescopes on Earth and amazing telescopes in space, like the Hubble Space Telescope and the James Webb Space Telescope JWST. These telescopes are like giant eyes in space, seeing things we can't see from Earth. The JWST, for example, can see light that our eyes can't see. This helps us see very old stars and galaxies. We send machines into space. These are machines that travel far away to gather information. Think of the Voyager machines, which have traveled beyond our solar system. Rovers are robots that can drive on the surface of other planets, like Mars. They can take pictures, collect samples, and study the ground. The Perseverance rover on Mars is a great example. All these efforts are part of projects. A project is a planned trip into space to do specific things, like study a planet or look for signs of life. Why do these discoveries matter? It's not enough to just know what we found. We also need to talk about why it's important. This is where we use words that show what a discovery means. When something is very new and changes our ideas, we call it world-changing. A discovery that is a big step forward is groundbreaking. Something that has never happened or been seen before is new. A discovery can be a game changer, meaning it changes the way we do science or understand things. A discovery can explain something, meaning it helps us understand it better. Sometimes, a discovery makes us question what we know, making us rethink what we thought was true. A find might suggest the possibility of something, like the possibility of life on another planet. Expressing your feelings and thoughts about discoveries. When you hear about a new discovery, you probably feel excited. It's great to have words to share that feeling. You can say that's great news. Or what an amazing find. Something truly amazing can be described as amazing. And if it's a very important find, you can say, this is big. It's also fun to think about what these discoveries might mean for the future. You can use phrases to ask questions or make suggestions. Could this mean there's water on that moon? The presence of this gas makes us think there might be living things there. This find makes us ask new questions about how planets form. And of course, many discoveries are about looking for life outside of Earth. Keywords for talking about finding things. To talk about discoveries, we need some important action words and naming words. Action words. To discover. This is the main word for finding something new. To detect. This means to find or notice something, often something that is hard to see or sense. For example, detecting a faint radio signal. To observe. This means to watch something carefully, often with a telescope. To confirm. This means to say for sure that something is true or real after checking it. To identify. This means to recognize or name something. For example, identifying a new type of star. To analyze. This means to study something very carefully to understand it. To uncover. This is similar to discover, meaning to show something that was hidden. Naming words. A finding. This is what you discover. A revelation. This is something important that is made known. A breakthrough. This is a very important discovery that helps solve a problem or makes progress. Evidence. This is the information that proves something is true. Let's think about a recent example. When the first pictures from the James Webb Space Telescope JWST were shown, it was a huge event. Scientists had been working for years to build this amazing telescope. When it finally sent back its first pictures, they were more detailed and showed more of the universe than we had ever seen before. These pictures allowed scientists to watch galaxies that formed very early in the universe's history. They could study the light from distant stars and name the chemicals in exoplanet atmospheres. This was groundbreaking work. The pictures explained how stars and galaxies form and grow. It was a world-changing moment, truly a game-changer in studying stars. People all over the world felt a sense of wonder. They said, "This is big and great news." As we've explored how to talk about the exciting new things we're finding in space, it's clear that understanding the language of discovery is key to staying connected with the universe's unfolding story. But what about the places themselves? In our next part, we'll learn the words needed to describe the incredible places that are waiting for us to explore. 4. Future space conversations. Imagine you are watching a news show, but it is not about today's weather or local news. It is about something amazing happening far, far away. This is the future of talking about space, and your space English words are your ticket to understand and join in. Right now, scientists are looking for planets far from our sun that might have life. They use words like exoplanet. This is a planet that goes around a star that is not our sun. They also talk about the habitable zone. This is the perfect distance from a star where water can be liquid on a planet's surface. Think of it as the just right zone. Not too hot, not too cold, but perfect for life as we know it. Now, picture this. Many years from now, a special telescope sees something amazing. It is an exoplanet, and the signals it sends back look like biosignatures. These are like clues that life is there, gases or other signs in the planet's air that show living things might be present. When this happens, everyone will be excited. News shows will be full of words like life from another planet, alien life, and big discoveries in space life. You will hear scientists trying to learn if the life there is simple, like tiny germs, or something more complex. Your space English words help you follow these talks. You will already know exoplanet and habitable zone. You will learn new, exciting words like biosignature and extraterrestrial. These words are not just about knowing difficult words. They are about being able to understand the wonder of these discoveries. When you hear about a possible biosignature, you will know it means scientists might have found a sign of life on another world. It is a big step from just knowing the word planet to understanding the deep search for life beyond Earth. And what about our own solar system? We are already sending robots to Mars, and people dream of living there one day. In the future, people will talk about building moon homes on the moon or even creating Mars towns on the red planet. You will hear about terraforming, which is the idea of changing a planet's environment to make it more like Earth, so people can live there without special suits. Imagine talking about how we might make air to breathe on Mars or build homes that keep us safe from the harsh conditions. These future talks will also include amazing new machines. We are always trying to find faster ways to travel through space. Right now, rockets are our main way to leave Earth, but in the future, we might talk about travel between stars, trips to stars far beyond our sun. This could include warp drives, an idea from stories, but fun to think about, or other advanced moving systems that are much faster than what we have now. You might hear about fusion rockets or solar sails that use light from the sun to push a spaceship. When these future trips happen, people will talk about space homes, big places in space where people can live and work. They might talk about asteroid mining, where we bring valuable rocks back from asteroids. All these ideas, these amazing possibilities, will be part of everyday talks for people who love space. Your space English words will be your key to understanding these exciting talks. Think about how these words help you join in. If someone asks, "Did you hear about the new exoplanet they found in the just right zone of that star?" You can say, "Yes. I read it might have water. I wonder if they will find any biosignatures." This is how your learning becomes a real talk. You are not just listening, you are sharing your thoughts and showing you understand. The fun of exploring space is often in the what if. What if we find life on Europa, one of Jupiter's moons, in its icy oceans? What if we build a space elevator to reach space? Your space English words give you the tools to explore these exciting what if ideas. You can say, "I think if we find life on Europa, it will be very different from Earth life," or, "A space elevator sounds amazing. It would make getting to space so much easier." You are not just repeating facts, you are thinking about the possibilities. This is where the joy of learning truly shines. It is about feeling connected to the big, amazing story of people exploring the universe. When you can talk about these future possibilities, you feel like you are part of it, even if you are just on Earth, listening to the news or talking with friends. And as exploring space becomes more of a worldwide effort, English plays a very important part. Scientists and engineers from all over the world work together on missions. Even though they speak different languages in their home countries, they often use English as the common language to share ideas, plan missions, and talk about discoveries. When you learn space English words, you are not just learning words for yourself, you are opening a door to connect with people all over the world who love the stars as much as you do. Imagine a future where a team from Japan, Europe, and America are working together on a mission to study a far-off cloud of gas and dust. They might be talking about the baby star places inside the cloud, where new stars are being born. They will use words like space dust, gas clouds, and baby stars. Your understanding of these words, gained through your space English words, means you can follow along, understand the reports, and even join talks online or at events. You become part of a bigger conversation that goes across countries and cultures. So, what new goals in space exploration will need new or more detailed English words for talking about them? Well, think about looking for life from other planets. We are not just looking for little green people anymore. Scientists are talking about signs of advanced life, signs that a smart civilization might be leaving behind, like huge man-made structures or strange energy signals. They are also exploring the idea of life spreading, the idea that life could move between planets or even star systems. Talking about these ideas needs a whole new set of special words. Another big area is using space materials. This means using what we find in space to help us. We are talking about using local materials, which is a fancy way of saying using materials found nearby. On the moon, this could mean using moon dust to build things or finding ice to make rocket fuel and drinking water. On Mars, it is similar. These words are becoming more common, and understanding them is key to following talks about making space travel more lasting and less expensive. How can people learning actively practice and guess the English words they might need for future, not yet discovered things or technologies in space? It is all about staying curious. Read science news from good sources. Watch shows about space. Follow space groups like NASA, ESA, and others on social media. When you find a new word, look it up. Think about what it means and how it fits into the bigger picture. For example, if you read about scientists studying dark matter or dark energy, these are still big puzzles. We do not fully understand them, but we have words to talk about them. As we learn more, new words and phrases will appear. The best way to be ready is to keep learning the basic words. The more you know about planets, stars, galaxies, and space travel, the easier it will be to understand new ideas as they come up. It is like building a strong base for a house. Once it is solid, you can add more rooms and floors. Imagine a future where a private company says it plans to use a business moon shuttle to bring supplies to a new research station. You will want to know what business means here. It means for making money, not just for government science. You will understand moon means related to the moon, and shuttle is the vehicle that will land. You are putting together the meaning from words you already know or words you are actively learning. The trip to the stars is an ongoing story, and the language we use to tell it is always growing. Your space English words are not just a list of words. They are your path to understanding and joining in this amazing adventure. It is about feeling a sense of wonder and connection, knowing that you can follow along as people reach for the universe. As we look forward to these exciting future talks, it is clear that staying up to date with the newest space words is important. But to truly master space English, we also need to understand the reasons and the past that shape our talks, now and in the future. Let's now look at the basics that have brought us to this point, understanding how past discoveries help us in the future. Conclusion: you have finished our trip together. But this is just the start of your fun. Great job! You worked hard to learn the language of space. Now you can talk about many exciting things in space. Think of this book as your own spaceship. It has the words you need to explore space by talking. Space is very big and always shows us new amazing things. Now you can understand them and tell others about them. The space English words you learned are your best helpers. They are like a secret code that helps you understand the cool things happening in space. When you read about a new exoplanet that might have life, or hear about a bright supernova, you will know what they mean. These words help you talk with your friends, family, or people online. You can talk about faraway galaxies, strange black holes, or brave astronauts who go to other planets. Watching shows about space or reading about space trips will be more fun because you truly know what is happening. Your space English words let you feel close to the universe. Now you have these great tools, use them. Keep learning. Listen to news about space, watch space shows, and follow space groups online. When you hear a new word, like asteroid or comet, think about what it means. Try to use one new space word each day in a sentence. Maybe tell someone a cool thing you learned. The more you use your space English words, the better you will get. You will feel like you are really part of the group that loves space. Remember, space always has new secrets, and your words will grow with them. The universe is a beautiful and mysterious place. The more words you know to talk about it, the more you can enjoy its wonders. You are now part of a group of people who look at the night sky and wonder. You can talk about what you see. Space is waiting for you to discover its stories, one word at a time. Go and speak the language of the stars.